we stand in front of Dollar Tree, and basically,
such as this thing here.
All right, I'm excited to have a guest.
Metal right here, of course. Everyone is.
Cuba is like they're under a dictator.
RTD Live Talk, Detroit's #1 late night YouTube talk show. It is the Monday edition of the People's Talk Show. Looking forward to connecting and finding out what's on your radar. Lots of stories worth touching on, and definitely want to get a chance to connect with you guys and hear about what you keep an eye on. So I have a couple stories on my side here, but so much stuff out there happening nowadays. It's hard to pinpoint any particular story to talk about. So that's why I'm definitely relying upon you guys to call in and let me know what's on your radar. So I hope everyone is doing well. Hopefully the notifications are notifying people as always. And I want to definitely welcome any first-time viewers to the community. I feel like it's been quite a while since I've done a live stream, but trying to, shuffle some things behind the scenes on my side and hopefully can connect more frequently and get a chance to plug in, man, and find out what's going on. Okay, as always, let me know where you're watching from. As I mentioned before, I'd love to give you a quick shout out. And then I got, let me see, maybe 5 or 6 different headline stories that caught my attention, things relevant to what's really going on to Main Street. And the goal is try to filter through the noise and see what's real, what's not, and what we can use and what we can't, and dispose of the rest. So anyway, let me jump in real quick. We got Paul from Eugene checking in. We got Jay, PM Galleria checking in. We got Neil. We got Mr. Belvedere as well. Says, hey, finally got in after a month. Hey, man, Mr. Belvedere, I appreciate that, man. Definitely. That's why once again, it's amazing to see how a lot of other content creators are also expressing their displeasure with the YouTube and the algorithms and all that stuff. But yet, we knew that was to come. So it would be great if they lived up to their promise of, telling people to click the bell and you'll be notified rather than click the bell. And if the algos feel like it, you might. So it's unfortunate, but I'll continue to try to pop in at 9:30 and see where the convos take us. But appreciate you, man. We got Tap In Productions as well. We got DC Precise. We got Brady says, what's up from the Motown, Detroit in the building. We got Ronald D as well from Texas. Appreciate you, Will Smith. Rob checking in. We got Mud, okay, Mud, Duck Farmer. All right, man. Appreciate you guys. And also, so feel free to throw out topics, subject matters of things that come across your radar, things that are important to you and things that the community needs to be probably caught up to speed on. Just because as I've always mentioned, there's maybe 1,000 different stories from all types of angles. And unfortunately, one person can't get to them all. That's why the community and the talk show is so important. Okay, so hope everyone's doing well. Welcome back. Hope you had a great weekend, head into the holiday season. As we approach the end of this year, there's depending on who you're paying attention to, there are some optimists out there that are saying that there's going to be a sudden rally for whatever reason in the markets. But then once again, heading into 2023, I think is the biggest indicator. Like right now is the biggest indicator rather of what we can expect for 2023. And it's unfortunate that it's all subject to Jerome Powell getting up to a microphone and speaking in reference to what they plan on doing and what their forecasts are for the future. And I'm thinking about, I got a couple stories here in reference to retirements and things like that, and how even people who have been very good with putting funds aside for the longest, they're even a little bit uncertain about the ability to retire in the future. So a couple headlines to highlight that, as well as things in reference to just some questions I'll put out there to you guys. And so let's jump right in, man. Before I do that, let me also just make sure I continue to remind people, if you haven't, make sure you hit that bell notification. Hopefully you're notified, click that subscribe button, and hopefully be plugged in. And more importantly, make sure you connect with RTD on these socials just to make sure you'll be notified and get some type of information when it's put out. And all of the information is in the description here for those who want to do such. So appreciate you as always, man, for joining me. All right. So like just the last couple of weeks or so for me has been, as I mentioned before, heading to the end of the year. I don't have anything that's, I don't expect anything different. I don't expect any reverse course of any type of actions. I see more noise right now than ever Like I've been doing this for this channel about 8 years now, and there's so much distractions going on right now, and Twitter seems to be the primary platform where Elon Musk is just getting too much attention. He's getting too much attention, and there's so many people buying in to him being this reborn, rejuvenated, revitalized, person that's here to really help the common folk. And I'm thinking, like, I just can't see it. This guy bought a tech company, and people thinking that because of him slacking up and opening up the Twitter files, as they call them, and exposing the criminality. Once again, they've been exposing the criminality in this whole entire system for years now. We all know about it, but nothing gets done. So it's one of the things where if they basically just open all the files up and he let all the emails out, showing every single political figure and every single banker and everybody else who had something to do with the previous elections and how they tried to censor truth. What then? What? Like what? Like, the same people who commit the fraud, they're not going to prosecute themselves, and there's nobody in any of those three-letter agencies that have any integrity or that have any real, you know, kahunas per se. Forgive my French, but to really do something about it because they're all bought and paid for. So it's one of the things where it's just noise all the way through. Chris says Elon Musk is a born actor. I can't disagree with that. But one of the it's in the midst of this current transition period of humanity, just because like I mentioned before, there's many facets to this reset that we're in right now, and I just saw that, or I see it often how more and more people happen to be departing this realm of life. Probably would have been considered a lot sooner than we all would hope for, but I think I just saw Christy Alley just passed away as well. I don't know the details, but 71 is pretty young to me for the most part. But it's just it's just so much stuff going on, man. I can take it anywhere you guys want to, but for the sake of keeping it in reference to the monetary system, let's just dive in real quick, and I'll just share with you some things on my end, then open up the phone lines and we can talk further. But just to show you a little bit of the stock heat map, let's jump right in. So here we have, I'll put this up on Telegram, and I encourage you, if you want to stay plugged in on a variety of subjects, definitely join the RTD Telegram and the Twitter. I try to share stuff throughout the day. Definitely, I share more articles and more stories on those platforms than I actually talk about here when we're live, just because I'll be ranting for too long. It'll be 30, 40 articles, which I'd probably get to maybe 4 or 5, and then I want to hear from you guys. So that's the whole point in this show here. All right, but as you guys can see, I'll zoom in some. But today, I really don't pay attention to the markets other than just getting the final snaps of the day. And so as of today, it says over 645 billion was wiped out from the U.S. stock market today. And so I usually show these heat maps once there's a sudden dip in the markets, just to show you how a billion here, a trillion here. At this point, it's all make believe numbers, man. But anyway, let's get to some headlines here. Some things that caught my attention as well. Here's something that so a couple of stories here in reference to retirement, just because I think a lot of people, especially people who are not too informed, they're probably starting to feel the pinch, and you probably have more family and friends reaching out to you perhaps in reference to what's going on, just because if you're tuned into alternative media, then that means you've been paying attention and you've done some things different than the norm. And I definitely put you in a better position. But this is very concerning for the most part, because when you have millionaires, people who are considered to be well off, they're getting a little jittery about their ability to retire in their latter years. That lets us know that, hey, something is definitely brewing. But real quick, I'll thumb through the headlines and just the key points here. But it says 35% of millionaires say it's going to take a miracle to be ready to retire for retirement rather. And so this was a couple of days ago, but once again, it's just, it's priceless. And so it says fewer Americans feel confident about their retirement security amid persistent high inflation and market volatility. It says even millionaires say their savings won't cut it, according to a recent report. And interesting article here. And one of the biggest takeaways here is that the dollar amount that is surveyed keeps increasing. Therefore, the goalpost towards the game of retiring or whatever it's going to be considered in history books, they just keep moving the goalpost further and further and further. At the same time, the goalpost is it's represented by the fiat currency that is the primary problem. But just real quick here, I wanted to share a couple of things and I'll move on. It says Americans now expect they will need 1.25 million to retire comfortably as higher costs strain household budgets. A separate study from Northwestern Mutual found a 20% jump from the 1.05 million respondents, 1 million respondents cited last year. And so Northwestern Mutual Fund, pretty big financial institution. So therefore, I take it they probably did an overall consensus. I would say, I don't know the exact number, but I would say it says 8,500 investors. So they surveyed 8,500 investors and 35% of millionaires are concerned. So think about that. That's an additional $200,000 within 1 year that was added to that total number that people feel that they'll need to retire. Then it goes on to talk about based upon the current numbers, basically what they're saying is the whole retirement model is outdated. And just a quote here, it says, "A million may seem like a lot, but many people are surprised when they do the math and realize that 4% of 1 million is only 40,000 a year." And so based upon whatever your living standards are, just ask yourself, if you're falling in this category, can $40,000 a year do it for you? And I would assume for the average person, it probably wouldn't. But then again, these are the numbers that these financial advisors are trying to work up now. So anyway, it says retirement rules of thumb are outdated. Duh. So we all know about 401k crises and everything like that. So let's just go to the next one. 401k balances dropped 23% this year. So just within this year, 23%. Take off a quarter off the top of 401k balances in 2022. And literally, this is just the first year of this whole tightening process. And barring the Federal Reserve deciding to pivot, go a different direction, it could probably be a lot worse to start off 2023. So say perhaps another quarter by midsummer next year, that puts people the average. I want to say the average was 110 or 120, and I think down. No, so it was 126 was the average balance for 401ks in 2021. And as of the end of Q3, it's 97,000. So say if things continue the way they are now, that 97 turning into easily a $73,000. So a lot of people gonna have some jitters, I'm sure. And you factor in hardship withdrawals for 401ks reach concerning all-time high, Vanguard says. So 5 million employer 401k accounts that Vanguard handles. Researchers said that 0.5 of the account holders were making hardship withdrawals in October. 0.5. Yeah, so it's not good numbers, man. But it is what it is. So just this is what's happening on Main Street for those who care. Here's the one for Charlie Balello. He's a financial guy on Twitter. I follow him. He does a good job with graphs. But it says the S&P 500 fell 1.8% today. It's 58th decline of 1% or more this year. 58th decline. That's the most downside volatility we've seen since 2008. And so once again, stats don't lie. And 58 declines of 1% in a single year. And once again, nothing really is wrong. Nothing's really happening out there in general in comparison to what's coming. So these are just some things that caught my attention. Just because your average person is still asleep at the wheel, they don't know what's going on. And I will never talk down or talk bad about people who are licensed by the same institutions that's responsible for overseeing people's finances. But as we're seeing here, there's more and more articles coming out saying that the retirement model, the investment model is outdated just because now monetary policy and fiscal policy has completely destroyed that. And so it's just something to be aware of from our people who might be coming across this information for the first time. Okay, here's some forecast that might be of interest to some people out there. We'll see if it comes to pass or not, but just worthwhile because this is another industry that a lot of people are excited about. And so it says Bitcoin could plunge 70% to 5,000. Standard Chartered predicts impossible 2023 surprise. So that's 70% for crypto. So not sure what the surprise is. I just went through the headline here, but if Bitcoin dips 70%, typically its parallel runs even with the stock market. So are they also saying that there's going to be a major equities correction as well? It's a probability. Okay, here. I'm curious to get your guys' thoughts on this, and I'll open the phone lines real quick. And we can talk more just because these are things that's caught my attention. But of course, as I start off talking about Elon Musk, and he's getting all the limelight right now for his ownership of Twitter. But now we have Elon Musk wants to put Neuralink implants in people's brains within 6 months. And then it says here, would you let Elon Musk company put a computer chip in your brain? So I just yeah, this stuff is just man, science fiction is no longer fiction, boy. That's what it is. Okay, so I definitely want to move forward, man. So if you have not already, hit that thumbs up button, show your support for the channel. And so what I want to do before I move forward is just for those who might be new, perhaps, I want to definitely give you a chance to take advantage of the opportunities with Bullion Max, because they're doing a good job. People are saying that they are getting their weight up. So I appreciate that for taking advantage of the opportunity. And also for Patriots, there's an opportunity to do a lot of things there, whether it be with survival food, whether it be with energy, you name it. And once again, you get 10% by being a part of the community. So stick around real quick. Let's run this little quick promotion here, and then we'll dump into the phone line. So have your questions ready, and I definitely want to hear from you guys. So let's jump right into that.
Here's a great opportunity for you to get your weight up. Let's face it, our purchasing power and our currency has been destroyed in real time. That's why I'm excited to tell you about my partnership with Bullion Max. Bullion Max will ship gold and silver directly to your door for you to hold at your home or in your own safe. To help you get started, I worked out a special offer with them. Get Bullion Max Silver Starter Kit at employee pricing. Just go to bullionmax.com/RTD. This kit includes 5 of the most desirable silver products to invest in, including the American Silver Eagle and the Silver Australian Kangaroo. This offer is limited to 1 per household while supplies last, so get yours today and take advantage of this opportunity to get your weight up. Do you have backup power for emergencies? The power grid here in the U.S. is outdated, and at least 2/3 of the grid is 25 years older or more. That's why having your own solar power is more important than ever. With the Patriot Power Generator, you will never be without power. You can take it with you on the go or use it indoors, yet it's powerful enough for your phones, medical devices, or even your fridge. And right now, you can go to 4patriots.com and use the code RTD to get 10% off your first purchase on anything in the store. That even includes the Patriot Power Generator. You'll also get their famous guarantee for an entire year after your order, plus free shipping on orders over $97, and a portion of every sale is donated to charities that support our veterans and their families. Just go to 4patriots.com, use code RTD to get 10% off. That's 4patriots.com, use code RTD to get yours today.
All right, we're back at it, people. And let's talk. Lots of things out here unfolding globally. And I want to hear from you guys. So feel free, whatever you've been keeping an eye on. Everybody here usually has different expertise of some kind. So feel free to give me a call and let me know what's on your radar. And we can see what's going on out here. So, and of course, I see in the chat here a lot of subjects out here. And a lot of these things I do post. I have posts about the FX swap. I posted that article in the Telegram as well. $80 trillion, confusion, man. It's literally, it's ledger, is numbers, is digits on somebody's ledger that nobody knows what the heck it's about. Then we got $200 trillion unfunded liabilities, all-time high for humanity. Never going to be repaid, man. That is just, as I can say, monetary confusion. And it's more of a mess that's more than likely going to unwind right now, heading to 2023, as people are talking about, will there be a recession? I mean, it's crazy to think that people, based upon all the key metrics, aren't really seeing the same thing, or they're trying to sugarcoat you. Okay, anyway, what else is going on here? Feel free to highlight at Rethinking the Dollar and put a subject out there or whatever concerns you. Let me know what's going on or give me a call. We can talk and see where it takes us. Or I got a couple more subjects I put up on the screen here. But it is a people's talk show, so I do want to hear from you guys. And Roger Rogue says you hate commercials. Yeah, I do too. But then again, it's always an opportunity. And if it may not be for you, definitely other people can take advantage of it. So I know it's something that I have been able to utilize. So I figure other people can use it as well. All right, we got here. Is Bitcoin safe? You decide. I think, and when it comes to speculation, that's one of my 3 S's. You save, you speculate, and you spend. In the speculation category, along with a lot of other things out there, Bitcoin or the digital asset space could be a play worth, I guess, speculating in, as I mentioned. just because you never know what might come from it. It could be the real deal, or maybe it's not. That's why I'd be willing to. If it goes to zero, then you won't lose nothing. But then if it goes to the moon, as they say, hopefully you can ride that train as well. But ultimately, it's all denominated in USD. So then what? Because you're going to eventually get out of it. Because I don't see it being the unit of accountability for the world. My views. Great question. It says, will there be a depression? Anyone can answer. My opinion on that matter is that, and of course, a lot of people, I've interviewed a lot of people who all feel the same way, based upon the global contagion due to too much debt that is unpayable. When it all implodes or blows up, or however it all plays out, it will have the effects of a depression. But then again, it will be probably worse than what we're able to really even categorize, just because we're basing our viewpoints of what a depression is from the Great Depression. And that was at a time where they didn't even have computers. They didn't have all this technological craziness. And, it was a $2 quadrillion worth of derivatives on a ledger somewhere that nobody knows nothing about. And there was not that much debt back then. And, the currency supply wasn't as high as it is now in relation to the amount of gold and silver, i.e., real money. So the end events could be something of a depression or beyond. I remember I interviewed Michael Pinto a couple of years ago, and this is before everything really hit the fan. He was talking about a Great Depression and things like that. So, a lot of people have been saying stuff like that for years. It hasn't come to pass yet. Hope it doesn't. But based upon where we're at and where they're trying to steer this ship or steer this economy, it could equal something of that nature. They are playing sheep like a fiddle. Yeah, 100%. And okay, yeah, yeah. And when somebody says we are at war, it depends on what area you're focusing on. Because definitely, I think we're in a political standoff, a political war right now. But then again, the same people who are behind the criminality of our system are the same ones that are still in power. So just the fact now, people are seeing more and more how just these previous elections are just a sham. That's somewhat of a a war, and they're using the word democracy as political politicians are using the word democracy as their punchline as to what they're trying to defend. And now they're trying to defend democracy against the people and saying that, we need, fair elections and all that type of crap. The same thing that they have been responsible for rigging forever. So now they're saying that they need to protect us from it or something like that. And then, of course, geopolitically, with everything shifting out east, with what the BRICS are doing and all the nations that are just lining up right now to join the BRICS, that right there is a geopolitical war, and it's all predicated around the current reserve status of the dollar and whatever plans they have out there in the future that they're working on. So that is a form of war. And God forbid we actually go to a kinetic war to where more lives are lost. But then we got wars on our borders. Every country around the world right now is being bombarded with, migrants from other lands that have been destroyed. So technically speaking, right now the U.S. is being invaded from Mexican border. So that could be considered a war. So yeah, you know what time it is. Tony B says, think China still wants to be world reserve currency. Yeah. So TB, I don't think China outright wants it. I think that what they are a part of will probably play out to be some type of mechanism that will be used as a Eastern Bloc currency, whether it be the BRICS currency. So clearly, I'm assuming everybody is, we paying attention to how the BRICS are looking to form their own currency that they'll use amongst themselves. That is probably good enough to circulate within those countries that are all joining for the BRICS as a medium of exchange, to where if they're doing business amongst themselves, whether it be for agricultural goods, minerals, resources, you name it, and they all have a way of trading amongst themselves, then that right there would be more than enough for them to continue on with life interrupted very little, just because they have the real world resources. So I don't think they'll end up with the world reserve currency. I think it'll be agreed upon between a couple of different nations, because I don't think Russia will stand by and just let China have the absolute world currency, just because they, at this point, who can trust who? And that's why I think, having those large gold stashes that they're all accumulating has something to do with however they try to balance that power out. So, but no, I don't think China will end up as the current reserve currency just because they made it clear that they want a multipolar block rather than just a unipolar world, the one they have now. But I could be wrong. Who knows? But once again, we're all seeing the shift away from the Western powers that be. Definitely not going to be an overnight thing. What else we got here? 45 won't be allowed to select his POTUS again. I just think that's more of a distraction. Like my personal opinion between now and 2024, I don't really think. I think that the world's going to have a lot more bigger issues to worry about than the 47th president at that point. Whether it's Republican, Democrat, I don't think majority of people really care as much in comparison to what will probably come in between now and then. And yeah, I got other thoughts, but I'll keep it to myself. All right, what else we got here? VIP says, "Who needs 45 when you have Ye?" This guy, man, he is out here. He's the lone wolf, man. He's out here just yapping. And what to me, it's entertaining because every now and then he's getting closer and closer to touching those buttons that cause more people to question the mainstream narrative, which puts his life in danger if it's real. So we'll find out how real he is. But if he continues to yap for the next year or two, then he's just speaking hot air, and he's literally being told what and how and all of this other stuff. So, but as far as him being president, it's not happening. It is not happening. Even if he was able to convince the people that he was for real and wanted to be, the leader of this country, they wouldn't have it. But then again, I personally would never thought that Trump would have gotten all the support from the country over the last 3 or 4 years. So, once again, every single president is selected. They're not just coming out of nowhere. So, hey, we will see. Says Craig says, "Are you guys mining and filling your bags for the next crypto bag in 2024, 2025? Craig, I would imagine majority of people in this particular live stream here may not be heavy crypto enthusiasts. Some people may speculate, but other than that, as far as like relying upon it and betting the farm on it, I imagine a lot of people here don't do that. And so we'll see. But then again, I think between now and that next Bitcoin halving, that's because that's that 2024 that everybody's anticipating. A lot of things can change, man. And it's all subject to the amount of currency in circulation and where the big players want to allocate it at. And so I don't think unless the Federal Reserve to completely 180 and do the complete opposite, then a lot of industries will have some real issues. And amongst the fact that globally, a lot of countries will go belly up just due to the current Federal Reserve. If they happen to get to 5% Fed funds rate and just pause, stay there for a minute, that's still strangleholding the rest of the world. So a lot of other nations are going to go belly up. Or if Bitcoin is real, then I can probably see a couple other nations deciding to create their own Bitcoin standard as a way to try to shake things up. Or like we're witnessing in Ghana with them deciding to trade gold for oil with I think it was with UAE, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll see. Yaser says, "Where is the crash and where is the food shortage? I'm starving." Yeah, sir. Be patient, my friend. All good thing comes to those who wait. And so it's one of the things where, and I would assume that you're in the U.S. and depending on where you're located at, may be better than other places. But once again, just look beyond your own circumstances. Look in other countries where they're actually having issues, especially in Europe, energy bills, gas at the pump bills and everything else. That definitely impacts logistics for food getting delivered and things like that. So, hey, if it's not here yet, I'm not mad one bit. It's better to be prepared by having something extra stored than to be running to the stores if stuff do hit the fan. So just pray that it doesn't happen. Funky Blue says 18 carton of eggs today is $8.99. That's definitely that is definitely an increase in price there for those eggs. What else we got here? Oh, SBFs. Sam Bankster Fraudster. I guess he said he will not be appearing before the I guess the House or whatever. Yeah, man, he's an interesting character, man. Um, Let me see here. It says Mike RTD. It says in the news, Kevin O'Leary, the Shark Tank, got eaten by Nemo. Sam Bankman fried. Yeah, and Kevin O'Leary, he's one of those guys that, as he tried to cover his tracks, he tried to backtrack and say that because he was interviewed on Crypto Banner and saying that he would fund Sam Bankman-Fried again if something happened. But then he came out with another interview saying that took out of context, as a creator, as an entrepreneur, his thought process is something that he would want to invest in, but not, and he wouldn't put him in places of leadership again, or he wouldn't have him do anything with money. I'm thinking like, wow, like if this FTX SBF doesn't expose how interconnected the crime syndicate is right now, I'm not sure what will, because FTX has taken people's funds and locked up all types of crypto from people. And to find out that it was $1 billion now, apparently, that was allocated to politicians this past political season, and nobody's being exposed. Nobody's talking about that. It's not on headlines, and nobody's screaming from the roofs, telling about fraud and nothing like that. And SBF is still probably in the Bahamas, living his best life. So yeah, just once again, if that was anybody else, he had been locked up and they had threw the book at him. But for some reason, not him. Let you know that he's a part of it. Yeah, Maxine Waters. She got 4, 5, 6 different photos with him out here. She'd be meeting with this guy, and yeah. What else we got here? Let me see. All right, we're about 30 minutes, man. The phone ain't ringing, so I take it nobody has nothing they want to get off their chests. And so I wanted to just connect real quick, share my 2 cents, what was on my radar. And so let's try it again tomorrow, man. Let's try it again tomorrow with 32 minutes. And so definitely want to hear from you guys. So feel free to give me a call. So, all right, with that being the case, people, it was good to reconnect. And I hope you guys have a blessed evening. And we'll be back at it tomorrow, same time, same place. And of course, if you like this, hit that thumbs up and share this video. Hopefully get more people in tune. And if you find some stories, bring it tomorrow night. Let's talk about it. Other than that, people, be safe, be blessed. Peace.